One, two, one, two. Well, good evening, and welcome. And want to thank you so much for joining me this evening. This evening, the 21st of the 11th. I want to thank you those who are joining me on Facebook, those who are joining me on YouTube, those who are joining me on TikTok. Yeah. Those are joining me on TikTok, those are joining me on Facebook, those are joining me on YouTube. YouTube is the preferred, what should I say, the preferred channel. If you're on TikTok, of course, that's like an overflow. But if you come on to YouTube, then we can see the full shebang. You know, ladies and gentlemen, today is the 21st of the 11th, 2024. This is a Thursday. We are getting there into the end of the year, and it's freezing cold in the UK. Freezing cold. I want to thank you there for joining, and please feel great if you share the video as well. That would be fantastic. But I want to say again, it is freezing cold. It is freezing cold in the UK, but hey, they always say the heart is warm at the same time, and it doesn't stop me from not going out. It doesn't stop me from going out in the park in the days to check out how things are. But tonight is a packed night, and when I say a packed night, I'm just dealing with a few issues, which are out there. There's so much things which are happening in the news. Breaking news: we got the passing of John Prescott. John Prescott was the deputy prime minister under Tony Blair. Great guy, always funny. And I'm sure his life will be one which is, I think it was in his 80s, one which is not full of sadness, but one which is full of, like he has accomplished his fate to a certain extent. Very critical of Tony Blair or during the war in the Middle East. And also we're going to touch on Trump pick, Gatz, who was withdrawn from the Attorney General nomination. And and also arrest warrant issue for Netanyahu, the Israel prime minister. That is very interesting. I guess he's not going to go anywhere. Maybe a bit like Putin. Did Putin go anywhere when they issued that warrant for him? There's Gallant and Hamas commander, and there's something also very interesting as well. Putin, Russia, Zelensky, Ukraine, and Biden. And I say, why Biden? The reason why I say why Biden is because why at the time when there's going to be a changing over, that there seemed to be this ramping up of the hawk, ramping up of maybe war in Ukraine and Russia. I can't seem to work it out myself, but hey, I'm not there with these guys with the powers and with the hands that they push. And I want to touch lately on this boy, a Britain boy, 18 years of age, faces Dubai jail maybe for 20 years for having sex with a 17-year-old girl over there. They're both British, but it's very interesting the turn of things and how things are there. When you go to countries, you've got to follow their rules. But if you don't know the rule, they say ignorance of the law is no excuse. But also, does it apply here at the same time when persons come to the UK? Do they apply, or do they follow the same rules? Well, that's very interesting with this young gentleman there, So, well, I'm hoping to get Garry to come on tonight. But without further ado, let us have a look at some of these issues. And please feel free if you, in the future, if you have any news or any topic that you really believe that I should touch on, like what's your news, feel free to join in and feel free to let me know as well. Okay? Thank you. Okay. Well, I can see your hands are moving. Like, are you ready to come in, Gary? Are you ready? Give me a thumbs up if you're ready. You ready? You ready like Freddy? That was a good timing because you say you're gonna come in late. So I said, let me just set the stage for you, make sure it is all right and everything like that. You know what I'm saying?
That's all right, my friend. That's okay.
You know?
Everything all
How,
right?
yeah, everything is good. And how are you there? Is it freezing cold wherever you are?
Man, it is very cold. It's
Mm.
very cold. Icy
And
conditions, but
well,
it's the season.
yeah, Gary. I mean, you've been here in this country for years. I mean, you're here from God was a boy. Or God is who we're talking to.
I like that one.
I'm gonna wear cocky trousers, you know. I'm trying to say so, and every year it's the same thing, you know. After a while, that's what happened, you know. But
True.
yeah, it's a very interesting week, as I say. Vita says hello. Vita is on the
Yeah, I
sideline. Vita,
haven't I haven't seen or heard anything of Vita at all. I'm just wondering what I'm to her. If she went to Mars or off planet or whatever.
no, I think she's in the Trump camp. She's sorting out the cabinet with Trump. I'm sure she cussed too bad out right there. So you know what I mean. She just cussed too bad out right there. So you know what I mean. Or maybe or maybe she's gonna come to the UK to live. Maybe she's a boss. She what? She a boss making money, you know.
Well,
Or maybe she's gonna come to the UK to live. If anything, if she's gonna come to the UK to live, and also I just saw somebody just came on TikTok. I just want to ask this question on TikTok. The hashtag is the Jamaican election tomorrow, the local government election. Not local government election, the by-election. Somebody just responded to me, say it's BUY, not BI, not BY, BUY, BUY election. You know, is it tomorrow? Okay, the election is tomorrow there. There's a by-election there. And yeah. But anyway, Gary, listen, there is there's some very interesting. It's like every week there's something you can't plan it because on the day there's so many things that will happen. um, what would you say is your top news or so what you're seeing? 'Cause I want to like it's on the list for this week so far.
I mean, I think what I think people are a bit concerned about, and it has been mentioned, I think, over the past couple of days, really, is how Putin is going to respond to what Ukraine is using, really. I
Yes,
think that what Biden has done, it hasn't helped, because I think what Biden the by giving Ukraine the go ahead to use
those long range
the
missiles.
the missiles that were placed in Ukraine. Obviously, you can see that the decision that he made before for Ukraine not to touch the missiles, it was for an election ploy.
uh,
And now he has lost. Then obviously, I think he just said, "Go ahead, use them." Either way, I don't know what's well.
so 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 what you're sort of implying is that I'm not going to say it, but I'll say it. Biden don't care now. In no business.
I
I'm
don't think
gone.
he really cares what happened.
Mm,
I mean, I'm wondering if he really is running the country.
yes, yes.
I'm really
Because
wondering if he really is the governor or the commander in chief, and if he's not, who is?
yeah. Well, many people have been talking about saying they're waiting for this opportunity and saying give Kamala a chance, if anything. But the whole thing about this, which I looked at, and people can come in and let me know what their views are, is that Trump just won, and normally when it comes on to a transition process, because now is a transition process. You can't. February 20th is not going to be the start of a transition process. The transition process is in place now. And if there's a transition process in place, I would think that they would sort of keep things. on hold. Just steady the ship in the meantime. Don't sort of rock the boat. It is for Trump now to play his hands now, you know. And when Biden went, when Putin went to check Biden the other day and said, easy transition process, it beggars belief, and I can't seem to work out what is it that made Putin. And then, of course, I'm not going to say disrespect the UK, if anything, but the UK followed suit in a sense. What should I say? A sort of a lapdog mentality. David, how are you, David? My specialist there, um, you know, because Vladimir Putin says Russia hit Ukraine with a new intermediate range ballistic missile days after Kyiv used Western supplied weapons to strike inside Russia. And in a surprise address to the nation, the Russian president said the strike was in response to Ukraine's use of American and British long range weaponry. And what Putin is actually saying is that by virtue of the fact that they are using these equipments, they must have American and British technical individuals operating it on Ukraine behalf.
Well, I don't think that's anything new. So
Uh,
I think they forward from the word go. The
yes.
American boots and British boots have been on the ground. They may
Mm,
not have been active on the front lines, but yes, they've always been there.
mm. But the Korea, but they said Korea, was it North Korea? North Korea boots is also on the ground in Russia as well. But it makes you wonder, the whole, and you know what I find very interesting about this, British brains, how are you? What I find very interesting about this, Gary, and people can come in and say, what I find very interesting about this is that I hear the rhetorics by Starmer, the rhetoric by Lammy, the rhetoric, and you realize and say, hang on a second, don't these guys know that the decisions that they make can have an impact on the world, can have an impact upon sending young people into war zones or so like that, persons who have no interest in these things, big men not able to sit down and talk and have a amicable discussion to sort of quench the thirst for war. Is it the
They
same
are.
thing that we've been talking about, the lack of leadership? Yeah.
I no. I mean, I do think that they do sit down and
Mm.
they do talk.
Yeah.
You see, what we see is quite, to me, in my mind, what we see is quite different to what really is taking place.
Yeah.
And I do think that there is dialogue going on, but we're
Mm.
not seeing it. We are not.
Well, yeah.
We are not.
Because David just said right there, I don't quite get the strategy here as well. No matter what is his strategy,
Yo, whose
Somewhat.
strategy are you talking about?
No, the strategy of what is happening. I mean, he's talking about the strategy of what Biden is doing. Don't understand what this strategy is to sort of starting the to sending. I'm paraphrasing you, David, and I believe this is what you're saying. The strategy of sending missiles into deep Russia at this particular moment in time. Someone said on TikTok, Trump will not be forgiven for the insurrection. So I don't know if you're saying that because of that, they're making it going to make it very difficult for the start of a Trump 47 presidency. Is that what you're saying, Hashrag? Yeah, you
Mhm.
know. So that's the bit there which is very interesting. And the lady, the White House confirmed that the U.S. is aware of Russia launching an intermediate range ballistic missile against Ukraine. Um, I don't understand what somebody's saying in there on TikTok. They say he will not be sworn in. They say Trump will not be sworn in. I don't know. Maybe that person has prophetic vision. Is it you, Ashok? Trump will not be sworn in. Don't understand where that is coming from. Yeah. So the White House is saying um, they won't be drawn into specific details of attack by Russia, and they're not going to give a blow by blow thing as well. How do you see this thing pawning out? I think we have said it before. We have discussed it before. Ladies and gentlemen, how do you see this bit here with Zelensky and Russia and Putin. You know, is it when they arrest him, like, oh, they've sent out a warrant out for Netanyahu, Israel? Is that they've gone after arrest Putin as well?
Well,
Mm,
I don't know if they're going to treat. I mean, how they've treated the Israelis is quite different to how they treat
mm,
the others, the other leaders of the world. Anyway, it's not going to be fair. It won't be fair.
mm.
I don't think they'll ever go in. I don't think they'll ever go in and put an arrest warrant and arrest Putin. I mean,
Oh no, they
look what
did.
the
They did.
US have.
They did put an arrest out warrant out for him, the ICC, but they're not signed up to it. That is why they said, you know, people go to Putin now. Putin don't travel anywhere. That's like how they tried to arrest Mugabe at one point in London. And the security guy then pushed him away. um, and and if we go into the whole discussion about the arrest warrant issued for Netanyahu, gallant and Hamas commander, over alleged war crimes. That's the latest one there, Gary. Um, Arrest warrant is over there. So, do you think Putin will be traveling to the UK? They'll have to arrest him, isn't it? They say if
for
you don't arrest him, they cut them off.
for
Huh?
I mean, why would he be coming to the UK?
Well, that's what I'm trying to say. That's what I'm trying to say. Um, they're not going to be traveling anywhere. Arrest warrant issued for Netanyahu, gallant and Hamas commander, over alleged war crimes. Judges at the International Criminal Court have issued arrest warrants for Israel Prime Minister and former defense minister, as well as the military commander of Hamas.
I mean,
Statements.
I think, I mean, all of that is quite stupid, really. It's silly. I mean, why are they now going to be issuing a international arrest warrant for the Hamas leader? That should have been done from the beginning. Why now? You know, and the Israeli prime minister, I mean, should he just have it? Listen, if Benjamin did not act on what happened in October the 7th,
Yeah.
what then would have been said of him? What would I would like to hear from your listeners out there?
Yeah.
I'd really love to hear from your TikToks and from your Instagram and Facebook or wherever that they're listening. If Benjamin did not act on what had happened on that October 7th,
Yeah.
what would be said of Benjamin? I'd really like to know.
Yeah. I think, Gary.
I'm interested.
I think, Gary. I think the issue is the response is not the issue. It is the proportionality of the response. Everybody believed that there should have been a response, but it is a proportionality based on how the impact upon Hamas and the figures of how many people have been, and the destroying
Yeah,
of.
but everybody know that. But everybody know that Hamas is a terrorist organization. It's a
Yes.
terrorist organization.
Mm.
You know, they are not really a government, even though, okay, it can be said that the Gazians voted them in to be to be the authority in Gaza.
Yeah.
But they are known and seen as a terrorist organization. So whether, I mean, proportionality, listen, if Benjamin, if BB, as he's affectionately known, BB,
Yes.
if he had not done what he has set out to do, Israel would be in a worse situation right now. I really believe so. Because Hamas and Hezbollah would have gone in and would have really done a whole lot more damage to and in Israel than what Israel has done to Gaza right now. and it may sound strange or that may sound a bit misleading, but I mean, BB has gone in here,
Yeah.
but I don't think it's a fluke of the imagination. We're all off the heads.
Yeah.
That complete tear of leadership, Hamas has been removed totally,
Some someone just
and
messaged me a while. Someone just messaged me a while ago and said Biden start war. I don't know if it's something happening that I don't know. David, can you check your news BBC update to see if anything is happening? You know, that is what somebody just said a while ago. Biden start war. You know. Afternoon, Janet Monday. Yeah. Yes. Gary, it is one which has been going on for years, and we've been talking about it as to what is the solution in the Middle East in respect of Gaza and Israel in light of what happened in October, and what is that, and what is the solution when it comes on to what is happening in Ukraine with Zelensky and Russia, and and it seemed like it's what, a 1,000 day. It was yesterday, 1,000 day, 1,000 days since
yeah.
the world. I don't know which one was which is the Ukraine one, or I think it's the Ukraine one, 1,000 day or so. But I'm switching back and forth. But just like what somebody just said a while ago, I just can't see the rational when it comes on at this present moment for a sort of inciting, or I shouldn't say inciting because it's already inciting already, but sort of prolonging or adding fire to the whole thing. When I believe that with the advent of Trump, one maybe is in a position to pull back on all these different things, pull back on what is happening in Ukraine, pull back on what is happening also in the Middle East as well. Someone just said a while ago, Netanyahu is running scared. He has been staving off an election over a year now. That is what um, Herbert always been saying as well. You know, it's 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 not a nice place for the world to be in at this time when these guys play with weapons of mass destruction. You know, it's like they're saying my toy is better than yours. You know, my gun is better than yours, Gary. You know, and
Well,
in
I mean,
sorry, go ahead, yeah. Mm.
I was just going to say that you see these countries, these very technologically advanced countries, they've got ammunitions that they need to test.
Yes,
And what's the best way to test these? Is in the theater of war? And
in the
so
real,
they're just using their assets in the real world, yeah, in a real
yes,
war.
yes. So is a testing moment now. You're saying. Well, we hope
It
that
is.
as the time goes by that things will unfold. I don't know. I don't know if you've been. I don't know what Kemi has said recently. I don't know if you've followed to as to what the conservative have said in light of it recently. You know, I'm not too sure. But another thing also, I don't know if you had come to London as a farmer with one of your tractors, Gary. I don't know if you came to London in one of your tractors recently for the demonstration in number 10.
Now, I
The
sent
farmers
mine
that
up there.
you sent
Somebody
yours up
else
here.
drove. Yeah.
But what but what do you think about this the tractors coming into London, the farmers actually really peed off, really peed off as to what is happening there, whereby the tax, I believe Labor, I sense that the Labor Party on the Starmer, they're so hell bent on taxes. They said there shall be no taxes. That's what they were saying, no taxes in their manifesto. But they're just hitting left, right, and center. It's like they have a vendetta or a vengeance that they want to wage against the British people for keeping them out in the cold for 14 years. They want to
Well,
say, I'm going to let you feel the power and the might of us Labour. Do you think so, Gary?
well, the Labour Party has always been a party of taxes, you know. and that is what the British people seem to not remember or not understand. The
Mm.
only Labour Party I think that acted or worked like a Conservative Party was
Tony Blair.
when Tony Blair was in power.
That's why
But
they said. That's why they said it was difficult to get rid of Tony Blair because it was a Labour Party led by a Conservative leader.
yeah, but Keir Starmer, I don't think he's not. I don't think they can be trusted because he's not doing anything that they said that he said that he would never or that he would never do or do. Because whatever he said he would never do, he's doing. Whatever he said he would do, he's not doing.
Yes.
So the farmers, they have their right. I mean, things are just going up through the roof. They're just going through the roof. And who was it that said? Was it you sometime back that said that you wouldn't be surprised, or they would not be surprised if those within the Labour Party rose up and got Starmer out because or even the Chancellor, because she just seems to be on a roll.
Yeah.
She's worse than Maggie Thatcher, and she's a woman for not turning, but she's got a wrecking ball in her hand, man.
Yeah, she just at it, and they're just and the one of the rationale and the base that they use each time, Garry, is this: 14 years of mismanagement and 20 how many billion black hole, and there's this black hole situation, and they use that and they keep using it and beating over the head of the British people every time the question about the taxes. Thousands of farmers protest against inheritance tax changes. And the response all the while is, well, it's not thousands are going to be affected, it's just a few. And one of the things that the farmers are actually saying, they're saying that, okay, they got properties, but actually it's not liquid cash, and they're worried that in passing down some of these properties to their children, this inheritance tax that they'll have to pay is going to be a very high amount. Let's listen to this here.
My dad can't afford to die. But me and my brother we don't have the money to take over the farm after he dies.
Yeah, I'm here to support all the little family farms that are really going to struggle with this new inheritance tax thing.
Everyone's so upset about this new law they've brought out, and this tax is just ridiculous, if you ask me.
So it won't impact me, but it'll impact relatives and other people that I know. That's what I'm here to support.
It'll be the downfall of all farmers, and I don't know what we'd do.
Well, it won't affect my family as such because I'm the only one farming, but it affects my career prospects as the fact that there's not these smaller farms to go and actually learn the trade better.
I personally totally understand why those huge estates need to be taxed. It's a huge thing for them that they don't have to pay that, but they can afford it.
The big ones that, can afford it and are raking in millions, then yes. But farms like us, we haven't got money as it is.
It's not the farm that has X amount of money, it's the fact that the land's that, and we're looking after the land and growing our crop on the land, and so that's why it's that amount, and so no farmer should be taxed.
I've seen families with little kids, and that'll really impact them, because what's the point in continuing if their kids can't take over or have the option to take over something that they're incredibly passionate about?
I think you should find the one with Jeremy
Corbyn.
Jeremy
Clarkson. Jeremy Clarkson.
Yeah, man. I mean, he was good.
Yes.
He was good. And I think that he was making some very valid points. Very valid points. I mean, I just think that the Labour Party has let the country down. The Labour Party has let the country down. Now, I'm a conservative guy, and I'm glad to be conservative. I think that looking back, if you could rewind the clock a bit and hear what Rishi said, that taxes will have to go. Taxes. Yes. He was honest to say that taxes would have to be increased. Now, we don't know if he would have to do the same thing like what the Labour Party is doing. But at least what is bad, what is very bad, is that the Labour Party said they wouldn't be raising taxes.
Yes. Yes.
See?
The,
And now they are. That is what I believe the country is really up in arms about.
yes, yes, yes. It is so indeed that the country and people are just it's like, okay, this is what it is like. It is like people got rid of the conservative to get a break. You know, they got rid of conservative to get a break. And woe and behold, yes, Labour is in now. And I said, oh my days. And Rishi Sunak stood up there and was saying, listen, read my lips. They're just going to give you taxes, taxes upon taxes. And they denied it, denied it. And to the point whereby when Starmer was being confronted by that with Rishi, it stunned him at many times, and he couldn't respond properly, you know. But anyway, here's a bit here with Jeremy Clarkson.
Let's just head down there. Let's just head down because we want to see if we can have a chat with Mr. Clarkson. If that is him, it is him. Let's just get in there. Jeremy, Sky News, what do you... Jeremy, what's your word to the government? Jeremy, what's your word to the government? You're live on Sky.
Please back down. Please back down.
Just to your left, please. Please back down. The word there from Jeremy Clarkson. You can just see, of course, how much he has meant to the farmers. An absolute bun fight.
I mean,
Garry,
I really
sorry,
think
let me stop this there. Garry, I don't think I remember listening to James Cleverly. And James Cleverly says, let's not wait for 4 or 5 years for an election, you know? And he said, want to be ready soon, because I listened to one of the farmers. Hi, Michelle, how are you? Michelle is here. Hi, greetings. One of the farmers says, if it doesn't roll back, you'll see, you know.
Well, I think the government is going to have to back down. They will have to back down. I'm just hoping. I wish that the British public, and it doesn't seem to be in the British psyche for it to be, but the psyche of the French needs to be instilled at certain times in the British, because the French do not back down. They don't back down. I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that they should be violent, but they need to be persistent.
You're right about the French. They follow through right to the end.
The only way that the British government is going to ever listen and back down is when things, it's like the winter of discontent. That was, I think it was back in the 70s.
Yes.
It could be in the 70s, in the 60s, 70s, winter of discontent.
Yeah.
That may just happen this time around again.
Yes.
And it's going to be worse.
Yes. I just saw a message from on Instagram from David. There's a tweet by Jeremy Corbyn which sums it up, which says, support Farmer Garry. I don't know if it is you, Garry, but it says support Farmer Garry. Maybe there's,
That's what Jeremy Corbyn is saying.
Yeah. I know you're into everything, because last week when you're on this last week, we saw you when what's his name, the Prime Minister of Jamaica was walking. When the Prime Minister of Jamaica was walking on the board, there it is. You were Garry, don't come on the bridge. Him say Garry, don't come on the bridge. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what the Prime Minister said. This is what the Prime Minister said. Gary's behind him. Listen to him. This is what the Prime Minister said. Garry, don't come on the bridge. Right? Right? What the Prime Minister of Jamaica said is Garry don't come on the bridge. And a while ago, David just says Jeremy Corbyn sent a tweet to support Garry, Farmer Garry. So I don't know if it is you, Garry, but
Probably
like,
not. I don't know.
you know, it is you that Jeremy Corbyn was talking about. But on a serious note, though, there is a passiveness, I must say, with the British public. The bulldog spirit has gone, whereby they just take things rolling over, just take things like that, and just accept it. Labour comes in, hitting out taxes. Labour said in their manifesto they're not going to do this. They just do it. They're hitting the farmers. They're hitting it. I mean, the farmers said they were let down, but the Labour Party has just really messed them around. And a lot of these from the budget, which is going to kick in 2025 as well, you know. And what I said, inflation has gone up again as well. You soon see the big belly man come out and say, "Well, we reduce interest rates, but in light of inflation and everything like that, we may have to bring it back up." You never tell the big belly man. And when I say the big belly man, ladies and gentlemen, I mean the Bank of England governor. You know, that's the big belly man there. You know, so it is a very trying time. And as my good friend Anthony Francis was on, and he said people need to sort of plan ahead and put things away, if anything, because of how things are. There's no sort of what should I say, any guarantee with this. You know, one of the things I see, ladies and gentlemen, every time government says we have no money and we're strapped cash. But Garry, if there's any war, anything, they're going to be sending money. Look how much money been going to Ukraine. Look how much money America is sending to Ukraine. No disrespect, you know what I'm trying to say? But they always say they don't have any money. And what they do, they hit it and they tax the people. There's a young lady sent me something. Where is she? She sent me a message the other day about what the Labour Party did to the pensioners, and what she said. She's not into politics or anything. I'm trying to see if I can find her message to me, and she says she's not into politics or anything. I don't know where it is. Here it is. Yeah, what she said. The attack on the winter fuel funds for the elderly is both heartbreaking and questionable. If they won't take care of those who help build the country, what will they do next? And what this person said, I'm not a political or engrossed in the news, but that's my main observation. And the key point is that if they won't take care of those who help build the country, what will they do next? And when you think about even the Windrush and all those persons, that's can't disregard. That's can't regard for persons. Can't regard for persons who are sort of old and they're being used and washed up. So that's the thing that the government is going to have to take in consideration. And what is going to happen, two things, is people come out in droves and vote them out, maybe get reforming or something like that, or just don't bother vote and don't bother get involved and just say, listen, can't bother with this. And a high level of apathy may comes in. That's what may comes in.
Yeah, well, that's, I mean, to some degree, less or more, it's always happened. But when you look at well, you mentioned a few things, Windrush. I mean, you got people who they've applied, they don't get the money. Yeah. Or they apply and they're still in the system and they're still not going to get anything. You know, it's a revolving door thing that does not work in our favor at all. You've got the post office fiasco, where men's lives, families, people died, people lost everything.
Yes.
And until now, nothing has been paid out. Or people just won't get their life back. I mean, yet, as you so rightly said, they're sending money to Ukraine, they're sending money to Israel, they're sending money to Rwanda, they're sending money all over the place. But where they need to send the money to, it's not going. It's not
Mm.
going to those people at all. I mean, it's just
Mm.
ludicrous, really. You know.
Yeah, it is something else, you know. But there's
Yes.
something else. Sorry.
No, I'm just saying yes, Mitch. Mitch, he's saying
Yes.
greetings.
Oh yes, 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 yes. Um, there's something which is being trending on the news today, and I sort of grab hold of it to sort of talk about, and it's regarding this young man who went to Dubai. This young gentleman there is 18 years of age. Yeah,
He's
18
eight.
years, 18, 1 8.
You sure it's 18 or 8?
You know, maybe it's a younger picture or so, you know.
That
But no,
can't be 18, man. You could never be 18 and look so.
no, they said he's 18 years of age. Britain, 18 years of age. Um, faced Dubai jail for sex with girl 17. His name is Marcus Fakana. An 18-year-old Briton faces up to 20 years in a Dubai prison for having a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old British girl while the pair were on holiday in the Emirate. A human rights campaigner has said. Marcus Fakana of Tottenham, North London, was on holiday with his family when he began a secret holiday romance in September with another Londoner who has since turned 18. Okay, interesting. Who has since turned 18, according to Radida Sterling, the campaign group detained in Dubai. After returning home, seeing pictures and chats, the girl's mother reported the relationship to Dubai police, who then arrested Mr. Fakana at his hotel. And you know, and what they're saying, that's what the embassy has said. Um, and it is involved now with the Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office, and everybody's talking about it as well. What they're saying is that this chap here could serve up to 20 years, because apparently Dubai, having sex with someone who is not, if you're not married, is punishable. I'm not sure by what, but they are sort of amended the laws of recent days whereby consenting adults can have sex, you know. And when I say consenting adults, I'm talking heterosexual, you know, because you know what these countries are like. Um, but the interesting thing about it is this is where it's at now, and the girl is now 18. So the question is, should the mother of the girl should have reported it to Dubai? Why did she do that?
Is it a black? Is it a black girl or white girl?
Well, I don't know actually. It doesn't say whether she's um
To me, that would be that is interesting.
yeah,
I'd like to know: is it a black girl or is it a white girl?
yeah,
I can understand if it is a white girl, if it is a white girl, and there's a problem with the mother knowing that the girl has had relationship with a black boy. Now
yeah, yeah,
that is telling, because I can't see a black mother, a black woman
yeah.
calling up, taking time to call up Saudi Arabia or Dubai or wherever to say that, I don't know. I mean,
Because what they're saying, what there's a lady who is involved, Miss Sterling. Her name is Radha Sterling of Campaign Group detained in Dubai. What she said, it's a unique case in that it's the first one we have brought to the media where it's a British citizen and where the age difference is so small. We're not talking about any abuse or taking advantage of anyone.
but
This
what's
is
the reason though? What's the what? You see, there has to be something other than that. I don't think that is the only thing. It can't be
mm,
itself. It can't be,
mm,
because you're telling me that in the whole of history of mankind, this is the first time it's happened. No,
yeah,
no, it's not. This is
yeah,
not the first time. And I think
yeah.
there is something else that is good, that is happening, but
Mm,
we just don't know what it is. We're not privy to that.
yes. Yeah, because the girl came back to the UK, and what they're saying is that uh, UAE targets Westerners for tourism, offer cheap flights, take out expensive PR agents and marketing in newspapers. There's a very little warning about us about what can happen to us if we go to Dubai. What sort of crimes can we be arrested for? Because if you look at the foreign Commonwealth, it's nowhere near through enough. It says consensual sexual relationship between a male and a female outside marriage are generally legal as long as both are over the age of 18 years. This includes extramarital sexual relationship. If a person age 18 or over has a sexual relationship with a person under 18 years old, they'll be prosecuted for having a sexual relationship with a minor. So that's what the issue is, and of course, he's in the constituency of David Lammy, so they're appealing to David Lammy, to the foreign minister, minister of state there, to sort of take hold of it in a way. It's very sad though. It's a very sad situation because those countries are very strong and stringent with their measures. But I wonder um, if they will honor the UK laws as well.
Well, I mean, again, there is something else. I'm not satisfied that that is the only reason that the
Yeah.
woman finds out that her daughter has had a sexual relationship with a guy. There is something else that's going on.
Yeah. And the fact that she actually, what she did, she actually contacted Dubai.
Yeah, I mean, she called. How did she know where to call and who to call? Because the guy is still there. I mean, what's going on?
Yes.
No.
That's very interesting. Why did she call Dubai? Because she knows or something like that. But they said she saw on the phone and she saw all these different things or so. But it's like, But anyway, we watch your space to see how it goes on as well. Not much people can do, subject to the place there. Let me see what Michelle says here. Whenever you're going to any Middle East country, Muslim country, you have to research their rules first. When you're going to these countries, you've got to research their rules because they're very stringent and very, But just the whole issue is she came back, and then you have to call over there.
I mean, how many days was it before the mother, did, like, for instance, did the girl come back on the Monday and then by the Friday?
Gary asked me them questions. I'm calling mother.
I call the mother because I really like to know. There's got to be something else other than that, because the girl, your daughter go to America, for instance, go to America. You're gonna sit down there and quiz her all the way through, and then she tell you, say that she, if you have that kind of relationship with your daughter, they say she can talk with you, she can really express herself, and she says that I met somebody there, and it got a bit quick, got a bit fast. You're gonna call up America now, find out which state, and then find which jurisdiction in the state, and then you're going to call the police and get to the head of police, and then you're going to have to find out where the guy is, where he live. All of these things, it takes time. It's not that the child, as soon as you get out of the airport, she tell you what happened. No, it's going to be at least a couple days.
Yes.
To me, I mean, did they know each other from here, or they never knew each other from here? How do you feel? Because if they knew each other from here,
let me call the mother
and they went out there, right? Probably the mother never wanted the boy to go anywhere near her daughter. So there's a lot of factors that I think that is not quite clear. There's a lot there that's not quite clear.
It is definitely not, definitely not. But it's a warning because a lot of people go to the Middle East, and I can see, they always posting pictures about going to Dubai and going to different places. So let it be a warning, definitely to persons from the UK or anywhere who is traveling, to make sure you know the laws. Ignorance of the law is no excuse, no matter what. But Gary, John Prescott. John Prescott. Let's give up. John Prescott, former Deputy Prime Minister, who passed away. Blair Lee's tribute to Labour giant John Prescott. I like John Prescott. John Prescott was really a cool guy. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
He was. I mean, I think that all of the old guard,
Mm.
and it doesn't really matter what part of the political spectrum, all of the old guard are now stepping down or moving off the scene.
Yes.
And it gives great concern that even when they were here, and even those who are still here, you're not hearing anything from them. You've got a wealth of experience, wealth of knowledge. I'm not saying that they're always right, but are they being listened to? Are they being asked the relevant questions that could be asked?
Yes.
I really think that it's it's like you have gold around, you have precious metals around, but you're not using them in the best in which you can. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, let's play a little tribute to him right here. Let's just play a little tribute.
Still campaigning long after leaving office,
This is Hull's finest export.
John Prescott was Labour to his fingertips.
Done another U-turn, Jeremy? Apparently, yes. Apparently. Oh, blimey, you can't trust this woman. She does U-turns.
In the 2017 election, the plain-speaking Prescott was on the stump for Jeremy Corbyn, taking aim at Theresa May.
And it's you can't trust her.
But it was New Labour, 20 years earlier, that put John Prescott on the political centre stage. After Labour's landslide election win, John Prescott became Deputy Prime Minister and a key player in the Blair government.
There's a section which is going to come up. I hope they show that section where the guy who threw the egg at him and he actually punched him. And when they asked Tony Blair, what you going to say about that? You get him said, Tony Blair said, "That's John." I just stop it there just for the sake of copyright. But let me just play this bit here further. Yeah.
Quite a journey for a man who began life in Prestatyn in North Wales, leaving school at 15 before working as a steward in the Merchant Navy. Studying as an adult at Ruskin College in Oxford gave John Prescott confidence, and he became an MP in 1970, rising through the party ranks and playing a vital role in the former Labour leader John Smith's campaign in 1993 to end the Union bloc vote.
There's no doubt this man, our leader, put his head on the block by saying, basically, I fervently believe, because that's what he believes, of a relationship and a strong one with the trade unions and the Labour Party. He's put his head there. Now's our time to vote. Give us a bit of trust and let's have this vote support.
John Prescott spent a decade as Tony Blair's number 2, often mediating the stormy relationship between the Prime Minister and the Chancellor Gordon Brown. He was Secretary of State for the Environment and then local government, an old Labour link to the party's past. Ever ready to mock New Labour pretensions, here the claws out for his colleague, Peter Mandelson.
You know what his name is? It's called Peter.
He was never the slickest politician.
Those 5 pledges are essential. You can see I can't find them. I knew this would happen. You know me, I can't use the boards. I'm old Labour. I've got to still look my old ways and try it right.
John Prescott's most glorious moment came during the 2001 election, when his short fuse ignited and he punched an outgoing protester.
What do you think would happen now? What do you think would happen now if somebody punched a member of the public?
John will be John. Tribal, rumbustious, a straight-talking bruiser.
We're on a roll, aren't we?
For 5 decades, John Prescott moved with the currents of the party he.
What do you think would happen now, Gary, if a member of parliament punch someone who throw egg at them, just like what they throw egg at what's his name, Nigel Farage, recent days? What do you think would happen?
I don't know.
The person will complain and say that they got a punch and they got hurt, because these days everything changed up now. The whole era of common sense has gone through the door to a certain extent with these. And I do remember John Prescott and Gordon Brown's sandwiching Tony Blair at that time. They're a good bunch at that time, I must say, and God rest his soul, may he rest in peace, and so like that. Gordon, John Prescott as well. I think he's survived by his wife and children. They just before we go, Trump guy have a cabinet. He's got this guy here who actually the attorney general, he has pulled back in it. He stepped back. But a good mate of mine from the States said to me he said it was a strategy. Put him in, and then he get kicked out or whatever like that before he gets in because of the distraction, and then Trump put in the real man that he wants in.
Yeah, I wouldn't doubt that, because that's a political ploy that has been used for many years, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah. Putting the real person there. And what is so interesting, but this shows you at the same time the whole mechanics of the American system, whereby even though Trump has his majority, in the sense that he has the majority in the House and the majority in the Senate, but there's still a presidency factor that still takes control, whereby he can't just do what he wants just because he has the fullness. All these persons will need to be somewhat ratified and to be vetted. I think that is so important, and I trust that Trump will allow that process to take place. And I believe this is a typical example of what took place. Typical example whereby person being nominated, but feeling the vibes and everything, and not realizing that you're going to get some opposition, even from your own Republicans, then somehow it works its magic in a certain extent. And I believe that's what's going. I hope that like the likes of Tulsi, she goes through. She's the only person I can think of really that I sort of have my eyes on. She's a person for intelligence, but everybody keeps saying she's a pawn in the hands of Russia. That's what they're using, and they're using that for a couple of they've been using it for Trump to say Trump is in the pawns of the Russians as well. Yeah. So that's it there in a sense, So yeah, Gary. So that's the week. I mean, there's so much more to come. We're gonna have to follow up on Kemi Badenoch. How is she faring? Have you seen her recently? There was a new guy that took over Question Time, because normally it's a convention, it's a tradition that if the prime minister is not there, then you'll have a his equivalent would not be there. So there was another young guy who did the Question Time. But I must say that gentleman was somewhat impressive. It's like a new star was born to a certain extent. This new chap. I forget what his name is, but there's a new chap on the scene, and if we just spend a few moments just to see if I can find him as well. But Gary, do you notice you don't hear nothing anymore about you notice you don't hear anything more about Jamaica and the what do you call it, the commission for what do you call it? I even forget it, Gary. See, I even forget it. The whole thing, constitution reform.
Well, the prime minister, he's completely control that and make sure everybody forget about that.
Yeah, it's like dead. It's like dead, Gary. The whole thing regarding constitution reform in Jamaica. Let me see if, I just hope that the people of Jamaica don't let it slip. You know, PMQ. Let me find PMQ. PMQ. It's end. Okay. Highlights. Angela Close, Tory MP. Okay, here it is. Okay. Okay.
It's his government that crashed the economy, that saw inflation rise to 1.1% and grow flatline. It was his government that spent the reserves 3 times over. I'll take no lessons from the honourable gentleman.
Alex Burkhardt. I understand why the right honourable lady doesn't want to answer questions about the terrible choices the government have made. It's because the truth is ugly. The truth is that this is a punishment meted out to people who don't vote Labour. It's the same punishment meted out to parents who send their children to private schools. It's the same punishment meted out to the owners of small businesses terrified about national insurance contributions. And it's the same punishment meted out to pensioners who can't afford to pay their fuel this winter. Isn't it the truth, Mr. Speaker, that if you don't vote Labour, they don't care about you?
Tell me what you want more of. Deputy Prime Minister.
Well, Mr. Speaker, after that display, he clearly didn't recognise the result of the general election and has learned nothing. While this government has been fixing the mess that they left, the Conservatives have been desperately trying to rewrite history. They come here every week jumping on a new bandwagon, taking a new pot shot, but absolutely no word on what they'll do differently. Last week, the Leader of the Opposition admitted she supported Labour's plans to invest in NHS, schools and homes. But what they want is all the benefits of the budget, Mr. Speaker, but have no idea how they'll pay for it. Mr. Speaker, the faces may change, but it's the same old Tory party. Straight back to putting everything on their credit cards, spending their reserves 3 times over. We took the difficult decisions to fix the £22 billion black hole that they left behind. And while they're
22 billion
reinventing the
black
past,
hole.
we're investing in the future.
Andy MacDonald. Andy MacDonald. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Anyway, that's it there. That's it there, Garry. Yeah. So that was a new gentleman there that's covered for Kemi Badenoch, one of our close colleagues as well. You know. But anyway, we'll wrap up anyhow still on that point. And what we do, we hope for the best for that gentleman there in Dubai, and hope that he can come back to the UK safe, because 20 years, that's not a good feat. That's a long time, and his life could be spoiled because it's like what somebody said: what is legal over here, but it's you're gonna make but maybe he should go to church anyhow still. Yeah. All right. Well, listen, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say have a good night. Thank you for Joe's joining me on Instagram, Michelle, Vita, and all those persons, also on TikTok as well. I want to thank you so much, and on Facebook. Have a good until Saturday night on Talk and Sip, and enjoy the snow in the UK. And peace out, and God bless you. Bye bye.